Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock. We're back with a Raid Shadow Legends video on the free-to-play account, and I am excited for today's video because there is some information that I don't know that I've talked about before with you guys, because this has happened before, and maybe the first time it happened was just this last week, and that's why I didn't think to tell you guys. But I did hit Gold 5 in Arena now on my free-to-play account. Again, just for reference sake, this is a fully free to play account. I've never spent a dime on it. And we are at day 276, 9, so 280 ish. And I've hit gold 5 for pretty much what I would say would be the first time. I probably could have hit it sooner if I focused arena a little more. And what do I mean by that? I mean using the free refills that you get every day, the free refills that you get to stockpile from other events and rewards and such. I never really prioritized arena. Arena is not my favorite part of the game, and it can be quite frustrating as a free to play player when you go up against higher difficulty um, enemies. For example, my free to play is now fighting at the same difficulty, Gold 5, that my main account is. And if we look at my main account, quite a bit more of a stacked roster. If we look at some of the champions that I have for PvP versus my free to play account, where I've got Sun Wukong, Arbiter, Armands, and like those three right there are great. Now, one of the reasons I built Yakarl, if you guys remember, this is going to be a very PvP focused episode, was to be my second nuker in PvP. Well, honestly, I win a lot more games with Armands than I do having double nuke now. Just because his control lets my son Wukong go nuts. I did a little bit of live arena today on stream, so you can go check out the VOD. I think the VOD is back up. There was kind of a weird thing that happened with my stream. I stopped streaming on my software here, but YouTube was still running a stream. It just wasn't receiving a feed from me, and I did correct that. But I got notified of it from someone in my Discord, and they added me and told me, "Hey, your stream is still going." I was like, "Oh crap!" And I was freaking out because I was on the road. I had an appointment that I tried to go to with my kids, and I'm freaking out like, "Oh my god, how do I turn this off from here?" And I set it to private. And anyways, long story short, it's good. I've learned a lesson from it, and won't have it happen again. I didn't know what they meant when I got the message. I was like, "Oh man, that camera's on, it's streaming my whole apartment, like my wife's gonna be on camera, my kids, and they don't necessarily want to be on camera." So it was a very interesting, fun moment. Thankfully, nothing was being streamed. It was just a black screen. So, all right. But back to what I've been talking about, right? We're going to be focusing on PvP. I went double nuke, did a little bit of live arena today with those 5. And I don't have any keys, and it's only active for another 46 seconds, so I won't be able to show you any live arena. And I can use one of those refills if I need to show you gold 5. But the team, let's do that. Let's refresh. Let's find an easy team. Good. 3 very easy wins right here. We're going to take those. I'll refill because I don't want to fall out of gold 5. And we'll talk about why that's important here in a second. But this is the team that I'm going with now. Arbiter into Deacon, into Armands, into Sun Wukong as the only damage dealer. Now, this is a very easy team. I mostly just wanted to show this to you. I will also do this because, we'll talk about that after I kind of go over the team. I didn't do a lot for the blessings for Armands. Same as you can see with Sun Wukong. Only 2-star blessings on both of them. I did recently purchase a second blessing for Arbiter from the Soul Shop or whatever it's called, using those soul resources. And that helps get her speed a little bit higher. And then I've got Deacon in there. Now, honestly, the role that I have Deacon in here for could probably be replaced by Armands. But since my Sun Wukong is not really built for ignoring defense. I think it's better to bring a decreased defense champion. Now, his accuracy is probably getting to the point where it's too low to land a consistent decreased defense. 315, that's actually not that bad. I've certainly seen worse. We've got our Mons at 386. That could be higher. If I was to prioritize a little bit more, he definitely needs more speed. That is a certainty. He's not slow, but 226 isn't fast. Like, he's kind of in the middle speed range. I'd like him to be up around Arbiter, who is at 305 speed. Now, what is my Arbiter on my main account? Just for comparison, I am curious. I don't use my Arbiter that much anymore as my... I mean, I still do use her. Yeah, 330. So she's not that far off the mark when you consider a free-to-play versus a paid account, right? So my Arbiter isn't that far off the mark at 305 speed, but definitely our Mons could be much faster. I would like to see him like up around 260, 280, and you'll notice he doesn't have any speed gear. When I built him, I basically probably went with whatever had speed and accuracy and didn't care because I believe in stats over sets. I still do. And that is, yeah, that's what I went with. Now, I did use this neck. I'm remembering it now. I think I threw this one on because I put the blood shield on him when I do Scarab bots, and I forgot to put this one back on. This is the reaction amulet. This gives me an opportunity to survive a hit, potentially. A little bit less accuracy by 1, but we can still go ahead and equip that again, because that is the better amulet for him. One thing, I've talked about Armands a lot in Dark Fae. Keep in mind that this is a frustrating item to have on your champions when you go and do Dark Fae. So I don't recommend having that on there. If you can afford to swap it before Dark Fae, I would. But for me, for PvP purposes, since it's a PvP video, I do want to keep that on him. I'm going to check, too, and see if I have any other reaction gear. We do have an attack ring. It's a DPS loss, and to be honest, the reaction on Sun Wukong makes less sense, because if he dies, he just brings himself back. So I'm okay not furthering that. Again, we talked about stats over sets. That is kind of the priority with this particular account, because I don't have as great of gear. If we take a look at my Savage, I have a lot of it. Obviously, not much of it is rolled, and quite frankly, there is a lot of weak stuff in here. I'm already identifying several pieces that are quite weak in here. In fact, to not have any crit damage gauntlets that are above a rare is quite frustrating. I would really like to see... I mean, I can get the crit damage gauntlets elsewhere, so I don't necessarily have to have it be a Savage, but I could probably work out a build where I could squeeze in some Savage gear. I am very blessed early on this account with some really good kill stroke from an event, which has really high crit rate on the 2 items. So they're hard to replace. And I quite frankly, I haven't done what I probably should have been doing and taken a real hard look at my Savage gear. I kind of just take for granted the fact that I do enough damage with these items that I don't go out of my way to try and do better. But still, you'll see like the attack percent chests that I do have here, no crit rate, no crit damage. Pretty weak gear overall, if I'm being honest. This is not so bad. I definitely a loss compared to here, though. But in order to make Savage work, I'm giving up a lot of stats that makes a champion good in the first place. So I'm not saying that, like, I would love to be able to build in Savage. That, just to be clear, I want to put my champions in Savage. I just don't quite feel like my account is at the level yet that I need it to be to do that. I'm just pretty. My gear's just weak. From when it comes to Savage in particular, my gear is quite weak. Good news, however, is that I am able to farm now Dark Fae on hard. Now, I'm not farming her at the highest difficulty. I'm in the wrong spot. But in Doom Tower, I am able to farm Dark Fae right here consistently, which is great news for me because that gets me the resources I need for lethal gear. Now, I could craft this gear and end up just as disappointed as I am with my Savage gear, but this gives me a little bit of wiggle room regarded with 10% crit rate with that same defense ignoring. So hopefully I can make a team work here. And you may then also be saying, wait, Roadblock, you said you weren't going to go for the instinct gear, but you don't have any ignore defense gear. You're absolutely right. Instinct is something I should be going for. It's just bad timing with my schedule when this Forge Pass started, because this started right in the middle of me being out of town for a couple of days. I was already off to a slow start, so I'm just ignoring it. I'm not going to stress out about it and cause myself more problems than I need to. Okay. That being said, I've gone in depth about the gear. We don't have any Savage gear on any of our champions, right? But the team that I usually use is Arbiter, Armands, Sun Wukong, Yakarl, and Deacon, who is starting to fall off a little bit on the account. I could probably get away with... What's the speed on Deacon? 222. Armands is 226. So he's already going before Deacon. I wonder if I was to go with Deacon, or go without Deacon and bring 2 nukers, if it would be worth it. All right. This is a pretty fast team. Let's try this. I mean, so ultimately, I just have to win the speed race. That is the only part that matters, is me winning the speed race. We'll put Yakarl in there. I do want that priority this second, and then A1. That's good. I do keep Sheep on, although I don't always like to use it, if I'm honest, when I manual a fight. I think I lose the speed battle here because of the +1, but let's find out. Nope, I win the speed battle. And there we go. Unfortunately, I need to make sure that I still get another big enough turn. There we go. Okay. And so that's really the goal here. I will show I didn't show my Arbiter yet. I showed her speed, but I didn't really show her gear. All speed gear, right? And we're looking for a speed substat on every single piece, which I do have. And then I was lucky enough to get the speed ascension on the boots as well. So really lucky there. I'm sure I have extra speed off the banner too. I went with a resistance banner just to try and keep her from getting crowd controlled a little bit more. Honestly, though, at 185 resistance, that's not going to be enough. You know, if you're building somebody that's going to be doing stuff that can be resisted, they're going to have high accuracy. I mean, this is not a great build for an Armands, and I'm still at 400 accuracy, right? So even Yakarl at 241. So the resistance probably isn't worth it. That being said, I don't know how many of them have a substat of speed on there which would have stats that I would want more. We do have some HP percent and some speed here. Yeah, you'll see like this accuracy banner. It didn't roll anything into speed. I think I went with this one because it had more speed ultimately. So maybe I consider this one and seeing if I get extra speed rolls on it. But I'm not really looking to level up any gear right now. I'm very low on silver. So, sorry, I got a dog hair. But we do tend to win most of the speed battles. Now, one thing I'm sure you're wondering, if you've been playing this game for a very, very long time and you're curious, why is there a +1 arbiter that I can outspeed on my free-to-play account? Well, that's in Gold 5. Probably because I do think that, and I know you guys feel free to correct me in the comments because I'm not 100% sure about this, but I do think they kind of balance a little bit around your overall power level or something. There's another modifier that they use related to your ranking, because I would never see that arbiter on my main account. In fact, if we look at my main account, which is still Gold 5, and maybe it's because of where in Gold 5, you know, but I'm actually, I'm actually further in Gold 5 on the free-to-play, this is the free-to-play, than on the main account right now. Okay, let's refresh and see what teams I get. So here's an Arbiter team. That's a Hegemon team, though. I'm looking for an Arbiter team to see if my Arbiter would win. So I have a speed team on here. We'll try this. I'm just curious. We're just trying stuff out, having a little fun. I bet you I just completely lose this speed battle. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I run the tournament on this group. This team's still gonna lose though, because of Roto's things. Unless I need a manual here. I should have manualed where my polymorph went. Okay, if Baron. Actually, I think this would be better. Ah. There we go. And I don't have books on my Armands either. I don't think this Armand... No, this Armand's... I don't think this Armand's is mastered either on this account. So, which one of them revived? It doesn't matter. I want to attack the one that's not under Ally Protect. And we'll polymorph her. That's fine. We'll revive here. This was supposed to be a PvP video about my free-to-play, and then I got sucked into this battle that I didn't want to lose. I technically did lose the speed battle, though, which was my whole point. But this is also why I don't run speed teams here, because I don't really have the team makeup for it. So I'm going to use another speed one right there for an easy win. But my point is that I'm probably facing slightly easier teams than a veteran account that may have slipped into Gold 5. You know, someone that regularly does Platinum or something like that. Now, I could be completely wrong about that. I don't really know how the PvP system works. I feel like I saw in a video somewhere or in a Reddit post or something where someone said, oh, yeah, no, there's different factors that go into determining your skill set. Now, you're still going to be coming across stronger opponents, of course, that are way better than you or better geared or whatever. Like, I could actually lose to this solo Armands here It's entirely possible. Just because of how fast his is. And I don't know that I get a turn. Yeah. See? I mean, thankfully we do get Polymorph to proc. I'm not even sure who brings Polymorph on my team. Oh yeah, Armand's does. So, cool. But the team's working really well for me. Obviously, you have to get to the point where you can get Arbiter, but once you have her working, a speed team works really well. You just gotta be mindful and pick and choose your battles. So let's say, what would I do, right? So let's imagine, I know I just used a refill, but let's imagine that I didn't, and I just did 4 arena fights, and I took all I took the easy ones and ones I thought I would win. So now what would I do? Well, I'm a little afraid of the speed battles here. You know, these are ones that, what is my power? This is my ultimate, with my ultimate Death Knight. If I take him out and put Yakarl in, yeah, 197 is my power. Power is not a really like accurate ranking to determine all that much, but I'm way underpowered compared to a lot of these teams. Let's see if I can win this speed battle. I suspect I won't. We'll find out. Yeah, I don't. However, this is a really big blunder that you want to be careful of. When you're building a team, so their Arbiter went first. They won the speed battle here, right? However, the rest of her team wasn't fast enough to keep pace with Arbiter. And you may be thinking, like, well, why does that matter if Arbiter goes first, right? If you don't keep your team within... So she gives 30% turn meter, right? 30% right here. If you don't keep your team within 30% of that Arbiter, she is going to fill them all up, but I will still go first. So, for example, if they had like a 200 speed... no, we'll just say 100 speed, right? They had a 100 speed champion, and she gave them 130 speed with her aura, right? Or not aura, sorry, not her. Well, ignore the aura. I'm talking about with her turn meter boost, right? But I'm 131 speed regular, then I'm still going to be faster than what she speed boosted that champion to be, if that makes sense, right? So you kind of want to keep them within that range. Now, I may not be practicing what I preach, if I'm honest, because it is kind of, you start getting into mathematics and stuff and saying percentages of this, of, what is, 30% of 305, subtract that from 305. That should get you your target speed, I would assume. I'm just making up the math on the spot here, but so I'm probably not fast enough to keep up with this Arbiter per se. And I have had that happen. In fact, today on stream in a live arena, I won the speed battle with my Arbiter. They only had a Deacon on the other side, and I still lost. The Deacon was faster, even with the speed buff to Armand's. The Deacon was still the turn meter boost to Armand's. The Deacon was still faster than my Deacon, and he took control of my team, and then they were able to wipe me with, I think, like a Baron or maybe not a Baron, but another big, was it Georgian? It was a big enemy, a really powerful nuker. I want to say a void nuker. It doesn't matter. They were able to just decimate my team with one AoE hit, and it was over. So definitely something to consider. Now, what are the next improvements that I want to make for my PvP team? Well, I would like to rebuild Ultimate Death Knight very slow and in a stone skin set. As a way to pair him with Sun Wukong. Now, there are still, because I don't have very good gear on the Sun Wukong, it's less valuable for this approach because I don't know for sure that I am going to be able to get through any team in that, you'd like to think that Sun Wukong could whittle down an enemy team, but there are definitely teams that might not be able to kill my UDK, and Sun Wukong will keep reviving, but Sun Wukong wouldn't be able to kill them on the flip side. So until I get better gear on Sun Wukong, that's less of a priority right now, but that is something I would like to do. I've done that on my main account to great success. So as far as other areas of the arena, if we look at tag team arena, just tier 2 bronze, which is fine. I definitely been doing it. You can see I have quite a few of the gold coins, and I would love to be able to get up to silver. I do win most of my tag team arena battles. As you can see, I am approaching bronze 3. I think if I stick with it, I'll probably be able to get higher. I don't think I can get into silver. Tag team arena is a real beast. And you'll also see that I'm kind of okay staying in bronze, which is why I'm running these weaker teams on my defense. I'm just being nice, letting... What's my defense again? Oh, wow. They can't. My Sun Wukong just solos teams, apparently. If you look in the battle log, the blue ones here are victories. So my Sun Wukong shut these guys down. That's funny. All right. One last thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go. I did see somebody ask me, given all the events in the game, and I probably should have made a video about all the events in the game. Maybe I'll make that video tomorrow when all the events go live. But streamers are already announcing what the events are going to be because I didn't see anything in the news section, at least not yet, other than for the summoning pool event. Or is this it? No, this was the last progressive chance, yeah. The upcoming progressive chance, I was really hoping for a void guaranteed. Now, I was hoping for it on my main account, which I just switched back over to. I've been saving void shards for a while for a guaranteed legendary, and they didn't do it. I was really surprised. So I won't be pulling any shards for this upcoming summon rush, at least not on the main account. I can't see any reason why I would on the free-to-play either, other than trying to get Pythion, because Pythion I think is really, really good, especially for this account, where I would love to have that healer cleanser combo that I just don't have at the moment, but it's not a priority right now. So I can't think of anybody I would pull or try to pull for in that, and honestly, that's not the style for this account. I'm not really chasing the progressive chances, right? So, but I can talk about that tomorrow, I guess, in tomorrow's video. Kind of give my thoughts on that. I have already kind of given my thoughts on stream today, but the question I wanted to answer, because this was a comment for me, and I wanted to make sure I addressed it, was Sand Devil turn attack. Yeah, I always do Sand Devil. Sand Devil doesn't require that many runs or that much energy. You'll see I'm still over energy cap. I actually ran out of multi-battles faster than I did my energy that I had just stockpiled because I'm not doing any events right now. There's nothing, because I'm not doing the fusion, so there's nothing for me to chase after right now. So doing Sand Devil was a perfect use of my energy. I don't usually do Sand Devil during a fusion that I'm going after, but I'm not going after this fusion, so I'm certainly able to spend my energy elsewhere. The main reason I like to use Sand Devil more than anything is these Immortal Soul Stones. You guys saw how good those were for me in the most recent, good-ish, but any opportunity to get a free Immortal Soul Stone, I'm going to take. And then the extra icing on top is the Prism Crystals. Now, let's go ahead and pull those, because I've been waiting to record. quite a few good champions in here that would be useful for me. Eurogrim, pretty decent. We've got Grush would be good for me on Faction Wars. I already have Ugo, but another Ugo would be really good. I wouldn't empower Ugo. Claude is really good. I think people sleep on him a little bit. He's only 50 on my account because I have better champions that do what he does. But still really good, really solid kit. And this is often slept on, this decreased crit rate. That can prevent bosses from critting you, which can come in honestly quite handy in a lot of different areas of the game. So, Skull Crusher, we have that. That was a big deal when we got him. I'm already surpassed using him, of course, with the Wixwell team, so not too interested in that. Skrank would be really, really good. Skrank would be really good for me. I don't have that many HP burners. I do have Mordecai. But Skrank would be another and better one. He's also Void Affinity, which is awesome. So really good champions in this group. All of the legendaries, I already have Ignatius. So probably my least wanted legendary would be Ignatius because I have him. I'd be fine with a Blizzard. I would go crazy over a Vizag. And Korugar is interesting. And I say that because I have kind of surpassed... I was just talking about this today on stream. How I feel like I've kind of surpassed the Ally Protect Strengthen... Well, the Ally Protection part of the game. That being said, I think he would be really, really good for me in Iron Twins on this account, especially with all the buff extension that I have. So I showed off my Iron Twins team, right? Yesterday. It's the same team that I run for my clan boss. And yesterday I was able to get all the way down to stage 14. I suspect if I did have Korugar, I'd be able to go further than that. And I say that because we would get that strength in, which we do get from Ursula, but we'd also get that ally protection out there, as well as turn meter fill and a cleanse, and then the self-heal for the person that's taking all of the damage. Plus all of this, we're getting extra resistance, extra defense for the whole team, and even more for Korugar. And then we also get counterattacks, so he's constantly healing himself up. Would love to build this champion and kind of fool around with him. He is HP based. That's him at level 1. Let's pull him up. See his full stats. I don't know. It's a champion I would love to mess around with. So, and not weak on the defense. The only thing, I don't know how hard he hits. I'd have to look that up. But if he did hit hard, I wouldn't be opposed to building him for some damage, but you have to be careful, because if you go really high crit damage on your ally protectors, they'll die. It's just the way the game is coded. So, either way, let's go ahead and pull this and see what we get. I don't think I've ever gotten... Oh, no, I did get a legendary. I got a Herndig from this before, so here we go. Occult Brawler. Okay. Occult Brawler's great. Really good poisoner. Really unique kit where he poisons himself and then transfer those onto the enemy. I don't need him. He's not a champion that I need at this point on this account. So good champion if you're early game, if you're looking for that poison champion. For clan boss, he could definitely fill that role. He's a great clan boss champion. Great clan boss damage dealer, for sure. He hits really hard, too. I remember there were a few Doomtower waves where I ran into a Occult Brawler and he messed me up pretty bad. So, unfortunately, for this account, not what we're looking for. There is going to be some more, I assume one more roll, one more pull out of the Dungeon Divers event. I'll probably do that one. There's no harm in it. I'm not worried about energy right now. Or, yeah, I'm not worried about energy right now. Ice Golem is ending soon, but there's no harm in me using my extra energy to try and complete that Dungeon Divers. So I will likely do that. Gives me a place to put my energy, and we'll see what we get. But yeah, happy to have an opportunity for these. 6% chance, not bad, but remember, there is no mercy associated with this. I do not recommend spending money, as good as this guy is, and as good as the pool is. One of the problems that I've run into is when I have spent money on the Prism shards on my main account. Um, it's usually oversaturated with a lot of legendaries that you don't want. That's why my account has a lot of what are they called? I guess I can just look at who I'm talking about. I have Calvalax. I have a lot of Calvalaxes and a lot of Theodores because when I went after Archer Queen. So I do not, and I no longer do. That's one area of the game I will no longer spend money. This is not a fair system. If you don't care about your investment, cool, but not worth it at all for me on any account ever again. I will never spend money on Prism Shards. So I'm done spending money on those. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to my next video. I'll give you guys more insight on my thoughts about the summoning events coming up, and we'll talk more about the direction of the account, kind of who I'm going to build, what we're going to do. And the team is still holding strong. Clan Boss team, still rock solid. I actually ran 2 keys. I made it. Oh, I lowered the speed of my Godseeker. I tried to see it on stream. I tried to see if I could build Godseeker in regen gear for Sand Devil and maintain her speed. I wasn't able to do it. My gear just isn't good enough yet. But we're going to fix that. I think it's time to do some hard dungeons. Thank you all for watching. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to support my channel right now. And I'll see you all in the next video.